There is a high chance your favorite MMO sucks, and that's completely fine.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. I'm Josh Hayes. I've been covering the MMORPG gaming landscape for quite some time now, and one of the most common questions I either see on public message boards or get sent to me directly is, which MMO should I play? And whenever that question is asked on a public message board, like Twitter or Reddit or even some of the Facebook MMO groups, you always get a load of answers of people listing their favourite MMORPGs and then a load of replies explaining why those games suck. Either from people who have played the games for a long time and have come to notice all of the mistakes, or people who have never played the games and are simply regurgitating the same, oh, that game sucks because of XYZ, that they've heard from other people, despite having no actual personal involvement in those games. So in this video, I want to examine where that attitude comes from, why it's so prevalent in the MMORPG world, why it's actually so self-defeating at getting new players into playing any MMORPG. Because whenever you say, which MMO should I play, everyone will tell you, no matter what you choose, it will suck. And they're right. But that's okay.
Before we begin, consider dropping a like or subbing for more MMO stuff. I try to make 3 videos a week. The bell icon lets you know when there's a new one. As usual, big thank you to all the Patreon supporters and Twitch subs. More on how you can support at the end. For now, let's begin. Whenever anyone wants to get into the MMORPG world, they often start with the question, what MMO should I play? And it's a totally valid question to ask. There are lots of games, lots of systems, and if you're not familiar with them, it's an intimidating world. But the answers they get, or the replies to those answers, are often so negative it actually serves to scare away new players, not welcome them in. And to understand why that happens, we need to look into 3 factors that combine together. How popular and shareable negativity is, the idea of saving someone from making a mistake, and the authority of experience, and then combine all of this with the fallacy of allowing the masses to make the choice for a single player. Let's start with negativity. CGP Grey has a fantastic video called This Video Will Make You Angry. In it, he explains how negative thoughts are much more invasive and shareable than positive ones. As humans, we love to share our hatred. In fact, studies have shown we share hatred far more than love or enjoyment. If something makes us annoyed, we are biologically designed to let others know. Combine this with the idea that people love to feel that they're helping or rescuing or saving others. The song Everybody's Free by Baz Luhrmann has the excellent lyrics, advice is often a form of nostalgia. Dispensing it is a way of fishing the past from the disposal, wiping it off, painting over the ugly parts, and recycling it for more than it's worth. People love to feel useful, and giving advice feels useful, and they love to share what they hate. So if you can make yourself feel useful by sharing your hatred for something, and in doing so, in your mind, prevent someone else from making a mistake, you're going to do that, because that's the perfect storm of human desire. You get to be seen as a savior and spew hatred for something. That's like the emotional jackpot. So now we add in a third part, the authority of experience. If you've done something for a long time, you will consider yourself an authority on it, and you feel like your advice is worth listening to. You are worth a damn. And as MMORPGs are games designed to be played for a long time, most long-term players will freely and often passionately tell new players what to do, how to think, and how to feel. They will tell new players these things because they want to share their negativity about things. They want to share the negative things in the game they play. They want to offer advice in the game they love and flaunt their authority in the game they've played for a long time. It's 3 things all combined. And the effect this has on the potential player base or the general perception of the MMO gamer can be disastrous.
No one hates an MMO more than someone who's played that MMO for a long time. No one hates a game more than the community that play that game. Sounds paradoxical, but it's strangely true. You'd assume if someone didn't like something, they would just move on from that thing. They would stop playing it. They would find something else to go and do. But no, thanks to this horrible concoction, this awful amalgamation of addiction, nostalgia, sunk cost fallacy, habit, many other factors that all deserve their own video, people will keep on doing something long since past the time that it stopped actually being fun for them. People will keep making a mistake just because they've spent so long already making that mistake. They'll commit to playing an MMORPG game long after it's ended up being fun for them, just because they've already played it for so long. It's their personality, it's their life, they're trapped here now, and they must keep playing it. So when a new player comes along and says, hey, how's the game? Suddenly an old, jaded, seriously enfranchised player has the opportunity to share their hatred, to be helpful in their own mind, to offer advice given from a position of authority, to say to that new player, this game sucks, and here's why. If you go to any message board or community of any game, it won't take you long to find a long-time player who hates the game and needs to make sure everyone knows that.
But here's an important aspect. What those players have experienced and what they now feel aren't necessarily wrong feelings. They likely do know the game better than others, and they probably do have some legitimate critique. But when they express that critique as entirely negative and leave out the years of enjoyment or fun they've had, it becomes hard to take them seriously or to really engage with it. Humans have an awkward predisposition to remembering the negative far more than the positive, and we remember things that make us angry or upset far longer and with more intensity than things which made us happy. So a 5-year MMO veteran of any given game will often end up remembering and focusing on the things they have started to hate, and it's these factors they will feel are worth sharing with new players. Often negative people aren't looking for solutions, they're looking for an outlet to be negative. It's the process of being negative that makes them content, not the idea of moving toward a better system. So we end up in a situation where new players to the game ask old players, how's the game? And unfortunately, because of human biology and human psychology, you're going to end up in a situation where you will be given much more negative than you will positive. Along with this, asking what MMO should I play also places your own personal decision into the hands of the majority, and that almost never goes well. Now, I want to give a slightly strange example of a strange situation, but bear with me because it does relate and it does make sense. Imagine a bus full of people, everyone wanting to go to some place different, and the bus comes to a roundabout. That's a big circular junction for all the Americans. The roundabout has a couple of exits leading to different parts of the country, and the bus works by vote. When it passes each possible exit from the roundabout, the passengers on the bus vote to either take that exit or to stay on for the next exit, and the majority vote decides the journey. This bus will never ever leave the roundabout, because you will never get a majority of people agreeing on taking any single exit. If majority rule is needed and everyone is going someplace different, it's likely you'll have an even split of different directions. When the bus reaches the first possible exit, 10% may say yes, but 90% say no, so the journey continues onward to the next exit. Maybe 15% say yes at that one, but that's still 85% no, so onward to the next exit, and the bus continues circling round the roundabout forever. Hell, even if you reach a 49% yes, take this exit, the 51% not wanting it will still keep the bus going in circles forever. And as people will not change their decision about where they should get off, no decision will ever be made.
So where am I going with this? If you are making a decision based off majority approval, you will never make a decision because the majority will never approve. If you're waiting for the MMO landscape, the MMO gamers as a collective to tell you which game you should play with no faults, you'll never play an MMO. Because they all suck in their own special, magical, individual ways. The MMO landscape can't even agree on a single game. What makes you think they'll be able to tell you what game you should play with absolutely no faults? If you're waiting for a majority vote to tell you what to do, you will be waiting forever. Because all MMOs suck. For different reasons.
There are many minor MMO games and 5 major ones: World of Warcraft, Guild Wars 2, Final Fantasy XIV, The Elder Scrolls Online, and RuneScape, both versions. The majority of the MMO community have played or is playing one of these 5. So when you ask, hey, what game should I play, you'll often get told one of these 5, but you'll get the communities of the other 4 telling you, no, that game sucks. You'll also often, in a strange paradox, get the experienced players of the game you've chosen also telling you it sucks, because the game has changed from what they knew, or they've had time to focus on the tiny mistakes, and those mistakes to them have become massive issues. So no matter which game you ask about, you will always have the majority of the MMO community collectively telling you no. And this brings us on to the final point. They might be right. The game you choose might suck. But that doesn't matter, because the bit of that game that sucks to them might be completely acceptable to you.
MMORPGs are massive. It's literally in the acronym, massively multiplayer. That might mean there's a lot of players or a lot of systems. Player versus environment, player versus player, questing, equipment, voice acting, crafting, exploration. There's a load of things to do. And I have a theory. This is called the eBay 1% theory. You ever sold something on eBay or bought something on eBay and you look at the seller's feedback and it's 99% positive? When that happens, you really care what the 1% negative is. You have this completely unbalanced, unfair view of what's wrong, what's the 1% mistake. That 1% of problem actually commands far more than 1% of your interest, 1% of your attention. If there's a tiny mistake, you focus on that. It's a thing that we as humans always do. So with a massively multiplayer game, you might have 99 out of 100 systems being absolutely fantastic and just how you like them. But that one system that you don't like, that's going to command far more of your attention. That's going to be the thing you tell people about. That's going to be your memory. It doesn't matter how good the game almost is. If there is one tiny mistake in it, that is the thing people will talk about. Just ask them about any MMORPG and look at how many people just spew the same mistake talking points for every single game. You ask about Warcraft, ooh, it's not the same as Wrath of the Lich King. You ask about Elder Scrolls Online, ooh, the combat's not very good. People repeat the same things because they are looking for the weakest link in the chain, and in doing so, they are ignoring the fact that the rest of the chain, the rest of the systems in the game, in all of the MMOs, are actually really good. So when you say, should I play an MMORPG? People will tell you the worst part, the 1% mistake, and often forget to tell you about the rest of the good stuff.
Should you play World of Warcraft? No, it's going downhill since Wrath of the Lich King, it's losing players, it's becoming cash shop focused, it clearly sucks. What about Final Fantasy XIV? No, it starts really slow, the free trial doesn't let you have retainers, it's full of weebs, the combat doesn't get good for hours, it has Lalafels, it sucks. Guild Wars 2 is a casual game, not a hardcore MMO that you want. Wide as an ocean, deep as a puddle. No gear to chase, everything sparkles, the main story isn't engaging, it sucks. The Elder Scrolls Online has floaty combat that you need to master animation cancelling to be the top 1% in. Everyone is the hero and that's not believable, it's not as good as Morrowind, it clearly sucks. RuneScape looks like this. Or this, whichever version you hate, you can just say, look at it, it looks bad. Clearly you can convince people it sucks that way. And this is the main issue. When you ask anyone, what MMO should I play, before you read any of the answers, please remember, people actively love sharing negative feelings far more than positive ones. People love to feel like they are saving someone else from making a mistake, and so they will point out all of the negative things to make sure you are aware, to make sure they can potentially save you. People will use their authority of experience of playing a game for a long time to explain why the game they are still playing is actually bad, because they will remember their negative things much more than the positive experiences they've had. The majority of the MMO community will never ever agree on a single best game. If they did, we'd all be playing it. Everyone will focus on the small aspect of the game they feel is weakest or that they don't like, often ignoring the good when asked for their opinion on something. The honest answer is play all of them. They've all got fantastic adventures to offer, they've all got positive parts, and they're all worth your time. And after trying all of them, you will find the one that sucks in a way that you're actually okay with.
So your MMO sucks, in its own special, magical, individual, unique way. It sucks. They all suck. They all have weaknesses. And whenever you ask people about which MMO you should play, they will demand you acknowledge your specific game's weakness. And they will demand you hate the entire game for that small weakness. If you avoid playing an MMORPG because the community collectively cannot agree that it's good, or people will not acknowledge it has no weaknesses, you will never play an MMORPG. If you avoid a game because other people dislike it, you will avoid every game forever. They all suck in their own special magical way. Find the version of suckiness that you can live with and enjoy the rest of the game. Maybe you personally don't actually mind the endgame raiding being the focus in World of Warcraft. Maybe you're not really a leveling adventure kind of guy. Maybe you like the slower pace in World of Warcraft Classic. Maybe you're actually pretty invested in the Final Fantasy XIV story, and you like the fact you can go to the Gold Saucer and just play some mini-games. You like the chocobo racing. You even enjoy the jumping puzzles, or the fact that the weather changes, and this changes what kind of fish you can catch in each individual city. Maybe you're a fan of Guild Wars 2 because you are a more casual MMO player. Your life is busy outside and you don't want to be on a gear treadmill constantly. You like the jump in, jump out type of gameplay. Maybe you're more of a lore guy and the Elder Scrolls Online is actually fascinating to you because the voice acting cast is stellar. All of the quests are individually written and actually pretty interesting. The crafting system is pretty deep. Maybe you like RuneScape because of its click and wait gameplay. Maybe old school is your thing. Maybe RuneScape 3 is fun for you because you enjoy playing the Iron Man mode, where you collect all your own resources. Find the version of suckiness of any individual MMO that you like. And when other people scream at you, "But your MMO sucks!" you can smile and nod back and be like, "Yeah, in some special ways it does. But I am still having fun." So remember, try them all. Find the suckiness that you don't actually mind, and have fun. You will face negativity, and people will demand that you hate whatever game you are playing for whatever reason they want you to hate it. But ultimately, it's your gaming time, it's your adventure, and if you're having fun, you're doing it right. Whatever MMO you choose, it will suck, and that is totally okay. Let me know in the comments which MMORPG you are playing right now, let me know why it sucks, and then let me know why that doesn't bother you. Thank you for watching. Another big thank you to the supporters on Patreon and Twitch who keep the channel going. You can support the Patreon from only £1 a month. Check the video description for links to the Patreon, Twitch, Twitter, and our Discord. And as always, have a great day.